Sit properly. Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna
Rama Hare 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 Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Rama Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Rama
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna Hare
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama
Hare
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 Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare
Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Ram, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Ram,
हरे कृष्णा गिरिराज प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
या हरे Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Let us begin with Mangalacharana prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिते नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 8. We are at text 40. Chapter 8 talks about the author receives the orders of Krishna and Guru. Author, who is the author? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Apart from senior devotees, who is the author? The author receives the orders of Krishna and Guru. Who is the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita author?
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami.
Jai. Yes, Mata. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Yeah, we can start with Mata. Mata, you can continue.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: I offer millions of obeisances unto the lotus feet of Vrindavan Das Thakura. No one else could write such a wonderful book for the deliverance of Narayani eternally eats the remnants of the food of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakura was born of her womb. Purport: in the text 43 of Gaura Ganodesha Deepika, a book written by Kavi Karnapura that describes all the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who they previously were, there is following statement regarding Narayani. Ambikaye Swasha Yasin Namna Srila Kilimbika Krishnochistam Prabhunjana Seyam Narayani Mata. When Lord Krishna was a child, he was nursed by a woman named Ambika, who had a younger sister named Kilimbika. During the time of Lord Chaitanya's incarnation, the same Kilimbika used to eat the remnants of food left by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Kilimbika was Narayani, who was a niece of Srivas Thakuras. Later on, she grew up and married. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakura was born from her womb. A devotee of Lord Sri Krishna is celebrated in terms of devotional service rendered to the Lord. Thus we know Srila Vrindavan Das Thakura as the son of Narayani. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura notes in this connection that there is no reference to his paternal ancestry because there is no need to understand it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Samyukta Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. What a wonderful description he has given of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Anyone in the three worlds who hears it is purified.
You can read this one.
Okay, Prabhuji. I fervently appeal to everyone to adopt the method of devotional service given by Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and thus be freed from the miseries of material existence and ultimately achieve the loving service of the Lord.
Yeah, this also read.
Okay, Prabhuji. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakura has written Sri Chaitanya Mangala and therein described in all respects the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
This also read, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. He first summarized all the pastimes of the Lord and later described them vividly in detail.
Yes. Yeah, Sandhya Mataji, please continue from here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mataji, yes. Go ahead.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are unlimited and unfathomable. Therefore, in describing all those pastimes, the book became voluminous. He saw them to be so extensive that he later felt that some had not been properly described. He ecstatically described the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, but the latter pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remain untold. The devotees of Vrindavana were all very anxious to hear those pastimes. In Vrindavana, in a great place of pilgrimage, underneath the desire trees is a golden throne bedecked with jewels. Shall I continue?
Yeah, I continue with this. Yeah.
On that throne sits the son of Nanda Maharaja, Sri Govinda Deva, the transcendental Cupid.
Yeah. Lalit Mohan Prabhu, please continue. Thank you for joining, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Jai Shri. Translation. Varieties of majestic service are rendered to Govinda there. His garments, ornaments, and paraphernalia are all transcendental. Translation. In the temple of Govindaji, thousands of servitors always render service to the Lord in devotion. Even with thousands of mouths, one could not describe this service. Translation. In the temple, the chief servitor was Sri Haridas Pandita. His qualities and fame are known all over the world. Purport. Sri Haridas Pandita was a disciple of Sri Anantacharya, who was a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. Shall I continue, Prabhu?
Yes, continue.
Translation. He was gentle, tolerant, peaceful, magnanimous, grave, sweet in his words, and very sober in his endeavors.
Yeah, great, Prabhu.
He was respectful to everyone and worked for the benefit of all. Diplomacy, envy, jealousy were unknown to his heart.
Diplomacy, envy, jealousy were unknown to his heart. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Lohish Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. The 50 qualities of Lord were all present in his body. Purport. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the transcendental qualities of Sri Krishna are mentioned. Among these 50 are primary, Ayam Neta, Su, Ramyakaha, etc. And in minute quantity, they were all present in the body of Sri Haridas Pandita. Since every living entity is a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all 50 of these good qualities of Sri Krishna are originally minutely present in every living being. Due to his contact with material nature, these qualities are not visible in the conditioned soul, but when one becomes a purified devotee, they all automatically manifest themselves. This is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5:18-12 as mentioned in the text below.
Just interesting, what is there? Yes, here Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana. Sarvair Gunai Satra Samasate Surara Abhakshate Kuto Manorate Sti Dhavato Bhagin. It's Jadandi. Raju Prabhu, please read.
Translation. All the diamonds and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of God, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in the material activities has no good qualities. Even if he adopts the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculation and must engage in the service of the Lord external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such man? Purport. As explained in the next verse, Krishna is the original source of all living entities. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 15.7, where Krishna says, Mamayavamsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manastastani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with 6 senses, which include mind. All living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, and therefore when they revive their original Krishna consciousness, they possess all good qualities of Krishna in a small quantity. When one engages himself in 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. One's heart becomes purified and he immediately understands his relationship with Krishna. He then revives his original quality of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. So, in connection with this purport, Srila Prabhupada has written, right, in previous sloka. So, just open, let the devotees read. Who else there? Aryan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
In the Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 8, there is a description of some of the qualities of devotees. For example, Shri Pandita Haridasa is described as being very well behaved, tolerant, peaceful, magnanimous, and grave. In addition, he spoke very sweetly. His endeavors were very pleasing. He was always patient. He respected everyone. He always worked for everyone's benefit. His mind was free of duplicity, and he was completely devoid of all malicious activities. These are all originally qualities of Krishna. And when one becomes a devotee, they automatically become manifest. Sri Krishnadasa Kaviraja, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, said that all good qualities become manifest in the body of a Vaishnava, and that only by the presence of these good qualities can one distinguish a Vaishnava from a non-Vaishnava. Krishnadasa Koiraja lists the following 26 good qualities of a Vaishnava. He is very kind to everyone. He does not make anyone his enemy. He is truthful. He is equal to everyone. No one can find any fault in him. He is magnanimous. He is mild. He is always clean. He is without possessions. He works for everyone's benefit. He is very peaceful. He is always surrendered to Krishna. He has no material desire. He is very meek. He is steady. He controls his senses. He does not eat more than required. He is not influenced by the law's illusionary energy. He offers respect to everyone. He does not desire any respect for himself. He's very grave, he's merciful, he's friendly, he's poetic, he's expert, and he's silent. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. So these are the qualities. Vaishnava. One can distinguish a Vaishnava from non-Vaishnava. Krishnadas Kaviraj lists the following 26 good qualities of a Vaishnava. We have to meditate actually. We have to meditate and develop these qualities. Yeah. Chandral Prabhu, please read from again. Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifested. However, one who has no devotion to Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualifications because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord.
Read this answer.
Ananta Acharya was a disciple of Gadadhara Pandita. His body was always absorbed in love of Godhead. He was magnanimous and advanced in all respects. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Who else there? Akinchan Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Alaltacharya was a reservoir of all the good qualities. No one can estimate how great he was. Pandita Haridasa was his beloved disciple. But Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes, Ilis Anubhasa, Sri Alalta Acharya is the one of the eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Previously, during the advent of Lord Sri Krishna, Alaltacharya was Sudevi, one of the 8 gopis. This is stated in the Gaura Ganopadas Deepika as follows. Alantacharya Goswami ya Sudevi Pura Vraje. Alalta Acharya Goswami was formerly Sudevi Gopi Il Vraja, Vrindavan. Il Jagannath Puri or Purushottam Kshetra, there is a monastery known as Gangavata Matha that was established by Alaltacharya. In the disciple successions of Gangavata Matha, He is known as Viloda Manchari. One of his disciples was Haridasa Pandita Goswami, who is also known as Sri Raghu Gopala and as Rasa Manjari. His disciples Lakshmi Priya was the maternal aunt of Gangavata, a princess who was the daughter of the king of Putia. Gangavata brought a deity of the name Sri Rasika Raya from Krishna Mishra of Jaipur and installed him in the house of Sarvabhauma in Jagannath Puri. The disciples, the disciples, the disciple in the fifth generation after Sri Anantacharya was Sri Vanavali. In the sixth generation, Sri Bhagwan Dasa, who was the Bengali. In the seventh generation, Madhusudana Dasa, who was Oriya. In the eighth generation, Leelambara Dasa. In the ninth generation, Sri Narottam Dasa. In the 10th generation, Pithambara Dasa. And in the 11th generation, Sri Madhava Dasa. The disciples in the 12th generation is presently charged of the Gangavata monastery, presently in charge of Gangavata.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very detailed explained about this. Yes, Anantacharya. Let me read some of the verses. Text 61, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Pandita Haridasa had great faith in Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Therefore, he took great satisfaction in knowing about their pastimes and qualities. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. He always accepted the good qualities of Vaishnavas and never found fault in them. He engaged his heart and soul only to satisfy the Vaishnavas. Purport. It is a qualification of a Vaishnava that he is Adosha Darsi. He never sees others' faults. Of course, every human being has both good qualities and faults. Therefore, it is said, Sajjana gunam icchanti dosham icchanti pamaraha. Sajjana gunam icchanti dosham icchanti pamaraha. Everyone has a combination of faults and glories, but a Vaishnava, a sober man, accepts only a man's glories and not his faults. For flies seek source, whereas honeybees seek honey. Haridas Pandita never found fault with a Vaishnava, but considered only his good qualities. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Yeah, please read Mataji's again. Deepa Mataji.
Translation. He always heard the reading of Sri Chaitanya Mangala, and all the other Vaishnavas used to hear it by his grace. Like the full moon, he illuminated the entire assembly of Vaishnavas by speaking Sri Chaitanya Mangala, and by the nectar of his qualities, he increased their transcendental bliss. In his causeless mercy, he ordered me to write about the last pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Govinda Gosani, the priest engaged in the services of Lord Govinda in Vrindavana, was a disciple of Kashishwara Gosani. There was no servant more dear to the Govinda deity. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura writes in his Anubhashya, Kashishwara Gosani was one of the contemporaries of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was with the Lord in Jagannath Puri. Also known as Kashishwara Pandita, he was a disciple of Ishwara Puri and son of Vasudeva Bhattacharya, who belonged to the dynasty of Kanjilala Kanu. His surname was Chaudhary. His nephew, his sister's son, who was named Rudra Pandita, was the original priest of Vallabhapura, which is situated about 1 mile from the Sri Rampura railway station in the village of Chatara. Installed there are the deities of Radha Govinda and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kashishwar Gosani was a very strong man, and therefore when Lord Chaitanya visited the temple of Jagannatha, he used to protect the Lord from the crowds. Another of his duties was to distribute prasadam to the devotees after Kirtana. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura visited this temple at Vallabhapura. At that time, the person in charge was a Shaivite, Sri Shivachandra Chaudhary, who was a descendant of Kashishwara Gosani's brother. In Vallabhapura, there was a permanent arrangement to cook 9 kilos of rice, vegetables, and other foodstuffs daily. And near the village, there is sufficient land which belonged to the deity, on which this rice was grown. Unfortunately, the descendants of Kashishwara Gosani's brother have sold a major portion of this land, and therefore the deity worship has now been hampered. It is said in the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika that the servant of Krishna in Vrindavana named Bringara descended as Kashishwara Gosani during the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In our householder life, we also sometimes visited this temple of Vallabhapura and took prasadam there at noon. The deities of this temple, Shri Radha Govinda and the Gauranga Vigraha, are extremely beautiful. Near Vallabhapura is a beautiful temple of Jagannatha. We sometimes used to take prasadam in this Jagannath temple also. These two temples are situated within a 1 mile radius of the Shrirampura railway station near Calcutta. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Samyukta Mother, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sri Yadavacharya Gosani, a constant associate of Srila Rupa Goswami, was also very enthusiastic in hearing and chanting about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Bhaurgarbha Gosani, a disciple of Pandita Gosani, was always engaged in topics regarding Lord Chaitanya, knowing nothing else. Among his disciples were Chaitanya Dasa, who was a priest of the Govinda deity, as well as Mukundananda Chakravarti and the great devotee Krishna Dasa. Among the disciples of Ananta Acharya was Shivananda Chakravarti, in whose heart Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda constantly dwelled. In Vrindavana, there were also many other great devotees, all of whom desired to hear the last pastimes of Lord Chaitanya.
Thank you, Mataji. Sandhya, yeah, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By their mercy, all these devotees ordered me to write of the last pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because of their order only, although I am shameless, I have attempted to write this Chaitanya Charitamrita. Purport: to write about the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not an ordinary endeavor. Unless one is empowered by the higher authorities or advanced devotees, one cannot write transcendental literature, for all such literature must be above suspicion, or in other words, it must have none of the defects of conditioned souls, namely mistakes, illusions, cheating, and imperfect sense perceptions. The words of Krishna and of the disciplic succession that carries the orders of Krishna are actually authoritative. To be empowered to write transcendental literature is a privilege in which a writer can take great pride. As a humble Vaishnava, Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami, being thus empowered, felt very much ashamed that it was he who was to narrate the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mother, thank you. Lalit Mahaprabhu, please read this translation.
Translation. Having thus received the order of the Vaishnavas, but being anxious within my heart, I went to temple of Madan Mohan in Vrindavan to ask his permission also. Purport. A Vaishnava always follows the order of a Guru and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita was written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami by their mercy. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami considered all the devotees that have been mentioned to be his preceptor gurus or spiritual masters, and Madan Gopala, Sri Madan Mohana Vigraha, is Krishna himself. Thus, he took permission from both of them, and when he received the mercy of both Guru and Krishna, he was able to write this great literature, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. This example should be followed. Anyone who attempts to write about Krishna must first take permission from the spiritual master and Krishna. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, and the spiritual master is his direct external representative. Thus, Krishna is situated antarbahi, within and without. One must first become a pure devotee by following the strict regulative principles and chanting 16 rounds daily. And when one thinks that he is actually on the Vaishnava platform, he must take permission from spiritual master, and that permission must also be confirmed by Krishna from within his heart. Then, if one is very sincere and pure, he can write transcendental literature, either prose or poetry. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Chandraman Prabhu, we'll read some more verses and then we'll go to verses.
Yeah, sure. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Vijay. When I visited the temple of Madan Mohana, the priest Gosani Dasa was serving on the feet of the Lord, and I also prayed at the Lord's lotus feet. When I prayed to the Lord for permission, a garland from his neck immediately slipped down. Hari Bol.
Yes.
As soon as this happened, the Vaishnavas standing there all loudly chanted Hari Bol, and the priest Gosani Dasa bought me the garland and put it around my neck. I was greatly pleased to have the garland signifying the order of the Lord, and then and there I commenced to write this book. Super. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Vijay. Actually, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is not my writing, but the dictation of Sri Madan Mohana. My writing is like the repetition of a parrot. Purport. This should be the attitude of all the devotees. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead recognizes a devotee, he gives him intelligence and dictates how he may go back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 10th sloka. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayam tiri. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give understanding by which they can come to me. The opportunity to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is open to everyone, because every living entity is continuously a servant of the Lord. To engage in the service of the Lord is the natural function of the living entity, but because he is covered by the influence of Maya, the material energy, he thinks is to be a very difficult task. But if he places himself under the guidance of spiritual master and does everything sincerely, immediately the Lord, who is situated with everyone's heart, dictates how to serve him. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. The Lord gives this direction, and thus the devotee's life becomes perfect. Whenever a pure devotee does is done by the dictation of the Supreme Lord. Thus it is confirmed by the author, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that whatever he wrote was written under the direction of the Sri Madan Mohan deity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Lavish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. As a wooden doll is made to dance by a magician, I write as Madan Gopala ordered me to do so. Purport. This is the position of pure devotee. One should not take any responsibility on its own, but should be a soul surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who will then give him dictation as a Chaitanya Guru, or the Chaitya Guru, or the spiritual master within. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased to guide a devotee from within and without. From within, he guides him as a super soul, and from without, he guides him as a spiritual master.
Beautiful statement, yes. The Supreme Personality of God is pleased to guide a devotee from within and without. From within, he guides him as a super soul, as a Chaitya Guru, and from without, he guides him as a spiritual master. Yeah. Yeah. Kijam Prabhu. Raju Prabhu. Correct. Yes, we'll read some more and we'll wrap up.
Translation. I accept as my family deity Madana Mohana, whose worshippers are Raghunath Dasa Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami. I took Translation: I took permission from Srila Vrindavana Dasa Thakura by praying at his lotus feet, and upon receiving his order, I have attempted to write the auspicious literature. Purport: Sri Krishnadasa Kaviraja Goswami took permission not only from the Vaishnava and the Madana Mohana, but also from Vrindavana Dasa Thakura, who is understood to be the Vyasa of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Aryan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. Srila Vrindavana Dasa Thakura is the authorized writer on the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Without his mercy, therefore, one cannot describe these pastimes. Translation. I am foolish, low-born, and insignificant, and I always desire material enjoyment. Yet, by the order of the Vaishnava, I am greatly enthusiastic to write the transcendental literatures. Translation. The lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami and Raghunatha Dasa Goswami are my source of strength. Remembering their lotus feet can fulfill all one's desire.
This also is right.
Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadasa, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Purport. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, 8th chapter, in the matter of the authors receiving the orders of the authorities, Krishna and Guru. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Aryan Prabhu. Thank you all wonderful devotees for reading today. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 8th chapter. We completed reading this chapter. So we'll read translations tomorrow. So now let us go with NOD Slokas. Deepa Mata, can you manage the call? Can you continue?
Yes, Prabhuji. I can.
Yes.
What am I supposed to do?
Yes, you are in front of system, Prabhu. Mata.
Yeah, but I'm logged in on phone. I can log in there.
Okay. Sure. Otherwise, 1 second. Let me share and we all follow Mata. You practice. Let me share again. That.
Okay. Are you sharing, Prabhuji?
Yes. I am sharing. Just to give me a minute. Yeah, I'm just open.
I can do it, Prabhuji. Like I can log in on the laptop and I can share the screen, not a problem. Because then you can continue with your work. You don't have to manage the screen.
Acha, Atlanta. Okay. So actually,
Change kada screen.
Change.
నేను చేస్తానులేండి, no problem.
Yes. Practice చేయండి మొత్తం, ఓకేనా?
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You continue. I'll come and decide with all of you.
Make me the host, Prabhuji.
Yes.
And you can stop screen share. I'll take this.
Right. Make host. Change host. Then yes. Now you can able to share screen. Yes. Yeah. 1 line or 2 lines, then 4 lines.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Be right back in 10:50.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. Anyabhilashita shunyam. Hare Krishna. ज्ञानकर्मादि अनावृतम्
ज्ञानकर्मादि अनावृतम्
अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानि
अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानि
अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानि शीलनम्
अनुकूल्येन कृष्णशीलं
भक्तिरुत्तमा
शीलमं भक्तिरुत्तमा
अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्मादि अनावृतम्
अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्मादि अनावृतम्
अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा
अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा
अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्मादि अनावृतम्
अनुकूल्येन कृष्णा
अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यं ज्ञानकर्मादि अनावृतम् अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानुशीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा.
Translation: When first class devotional service develops,
When first class devotional service develops,
one must be devoid of all material desires,
One must be
devoid
devoid
of all
of
material desires,
knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy and fruitive action.
knowledge
knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy and fruitive action.
The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably.
The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires.
The Samrit Sindhu 1.1.12 Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam
सर्वोपाधि विनिर्मुक्तम्
Tatparatvena nirmalam
तत्परत्वेन निर्मलम्
Kesha
ऋषिकेश
Sevanam bhaktiruchyate
सेवनं भक्तिरुच्यते
Sarvopadhi vinirmuktam Tatparatvena nirmalam
सर्वोपाधि विनिर्मुक्तं
निर्मलं
Kesha Sevanam bhaktiruchyate
सेवनं भक्तिरुच्यते.
सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्तं तत्परत्वेन निर्मलं ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेश सेवनं भक्तिरुच्यते
सर्वोपाधि
निर्मुक्तं तत्परत्वेन निर्मलं ऋषिकेश सेवनं भक्तिरुच्यते.
Bhakti or devotional service
Bhakti or devotional service
means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord
means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
the Master of all
the Master of all the senses.
When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme,
when the spirit
When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme,
there are two side effects.
there are two side effects.
One is freed from all material designations
One is freed from all material designations,
and simply by being employed in the service of the Lord,
and
and
simply by
simply by
being
being employed in the service of the Lord,
one's senses are purified.
one's senses are purified.
1.2.234 अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि
अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि
न भविष्याम्यन्ते
नाभवेद्राह्यमिन्द्रिये
सेवोन्मुखैः तिक्वादौ
सेवोन्मुखैः
स्वयम् एव स्फुरत्तदा
स्वयम् एव स्फुरत्तदा.
अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भविष्याम्यन्ते
अतः श्री कृष्ण
स्वयम् एव स्फुरत्तदा
Mataji, your voice is not clear.
जिह्वादौ स्वयम् एव
श्रीकृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यमिन्द्रियै एवोन्मुखे हि जिह्वादौ स्वयम् एव स्फुरत्यदा
अतः श्रीकृष्णादि
स्वयम् एव
because Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, etc.
Because Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, etc.
are all on the absolute platform.
The absolute platform.
Material senses cannot therefore appreciate them.
Material senses cannot therefore appreciate them.
When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness,
When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness
and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name,
and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name,
and taste the remnants of the Lord's food,
and taste the remnants of the Lord's food,
the tongue is purified,
the tongue is purified,
and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is.
and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is.
1.2.255 Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharham Upayunjata Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhi Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharham Upayunjata Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharham Upayunjata Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate When one is not attached to anything,
when one is not attached to anything,
but at the same time accepts anything in relation to Krishna,
but at the same time accept anything in relation to Krishna,
one is rightly situated above possessiveness.
One is rightly situated above possessiveness.
Would like to read, like just continuously the verse and translation, verse translation.
Mataji, shall I try, Mataji? I'm trying first time. Maybe I cannot pronounce properly.
Don't worry, Prabhuji. Just do it.
Okay. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.111. Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karamadi anavritam anukulena krishnanu silnam bhaktir uttama. When first class devotional service dwells, one must be devoid of all material desires. Knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotees must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.112. Sarvopadi binirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. Prabhuji, correct me if...
You're right, Prabhuji. Please continue.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all senses,
when the split soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and simply by being employed in the service of the Lord, one's senses are purified. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2-234. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि नावावेद ग्राह्यम इंद्रियः सेवो मुक्ते ही जीवादु से स्वयं एव स्फूर्ते अधः
यहाँ पर ना ग्राह्य इंद्रिय है और सेवोन्मुखे ही जिह्वादौ स्वयं एव स्फुरति अधः.
ओके माताजी, थैंक यू माताजी. सेवन मुखे, राइट? सेवोन्मुखे. ओके माताजी. इंद्रिय है. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि नाभावेत ग्राह्यम इंद्रिय है सेवनो मुखे ही जीवादु स्वयं एव स्फूर्ते अधः. Because Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, etc. are all on the absolute platform. Material senses cannot therefore appreciate them. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2-255. Anasakya Visyan.
Anasaktasya Vishayan.
Okay, Mataji. Anasaktasya Visyan. Anasakya Visyan. यथाहारम उपयुञ्जन्तः. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जन्तः.
उसको स्पीक कर दीजिए प्रभु जी. उप अलग, युञ्जता, उपयुञ्जता.
ओके माताजी, उपायुञ्जता. ओके. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जन्तः निर्बन्धः कृष्ण संबन्धे युक्तं वैराग्यम उच्यते. इस करेक्ट माताजी? नाउ थोड़ा उपयुञ्जन्तः.
मतलब वो जैसे
उपयुञ्जन्तः and यथार्हम्, right?
यथार्हम्, basically यथार्हम्, उन दोनों को जब वो संधि में आ जाता है तो यथार्हम् हो गया.
यथार्हम्
सोचिए हिंदी के तरफ.
उपयुञ्जतः. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथार्हम् उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्धः कृष्ण संबन्धे युक्तं वैराग्यम उच्यते. When one is not attached to anything but at the same time accepts anything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Anybody would like to volunteer?
Mataji, can I do it, Mataji?
Yes, please. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Okay. Anyabhilashita sunyam ज्ञानकर्मात् अनावृतम् अनुकूल्येन कृष्णानु शीलनं भक्तिरुत्तमा. When first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy, and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. सर्वोपाधि विनिर्मुक्तं तत्परत्वेन निर्मलं हृषिकेन हृषिकेश Sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and simply by being employed in the service of the Lord, one's senses are purified. अतः श्रीकृष्ण नामादि न भवेद् ग्राह्यमिन्द्रियैः सेवोन्मुखे हि जीवादौ स्वयं एव स्फुरत्यदः. Because Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, etc. are all on the absolute platform, material senses cannot therefore appreciate them. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified, and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यतार्हम् उपयुञ्जतः निर्बन्ध कृष्ण संबन्धे युक्तं वैराग्यमुच्यते. When one is not attached to anything but at the same time accepts anything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness.
Yeah. Thank you, Lalit Mohan Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji, Deepa Mataji, Praveen Prabhu. Thank you for reciting. You have your unique recitation, Lalit Mohan Prabhu. We are not there. We are just like, as you said, Pune.
Prabhuji says, Prabhuji
This
send
is
your recording,
actually,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, this is not actually to show what I am, Prabhuji, but it is like, for people who want to grow, Prabhuji, but, I'm like a, what is a showing of, I'm feeling that I'm showing off, Prabhuji, but sorry.
Showing up,
Please
everybody.
don't take it in that, no, this one, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji. It is an inspiration for others to learn the right way, no? So it is never a show off. It is just that, if you are doing, then we can learn from you that what is the right way of pronunciation, what is the right way, what is the right mood in which we should be. So never think like that, Prabhuji.
Same. Never think like that. So different way of meters, right, Prabhu? Different tunes for each sloka, and like, songs, different tunes like that. Sloka also. You have that. But yeah, very nice. Actually, I want to read. Can I? I want.
Please go ahead.
With this, we'll conclude. Already 9 o'clock. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. When first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monistic philosophy, and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. Bhakti Rasam Sindhu 1.1.12. Sarvobadhi vinurmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and simply by being employed in the service of the Lord, one's senses are purified. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234. Ata Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai sevonmukhe jihvadau swayam eva spurat adaha. Because Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, etc. are all on the absolute platform, material senses cannot therefore appreciate them. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. Bhakti Rasam Sindhu 1.2.255. Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Upayunjata Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Muchyate. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts anything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. Thank you very much, Mataji, and all the wonderful devotees. One thing I wanted to add here. Second sloka, go to Mataji. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. Material designations. Please add anybody. What are the material designations?
I am a doctor, I am a lawyer.
Yeah, I am a man, I am a woman. I am Indian and I am African. These are all designations.
Rich, poor, I am rich.
I am rich, I am poor. All these material designations. I am software engineer. I am financial planner. So in front of Krishna, so we are all just servants. Yes, material designation. In the preaching, we frequently, I heard for the first time, Radhanaswami Maharaj, and explaining this material designation. Of course, Prabhupada also. Prabhupada's lectures also. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikeja Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Yeah, engaging all our senses for the pleasure of the Lord. Yeah. Thank you very much again. Dandavat pranams. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Gurudev ki jai.
इवनिंग में है
इवनिंग में नेक्स्ट वीक करेंगे लास्ट वीक नेक्स्ट वीक करेंगे नेक्स्ट वीक यस थैंक यू वेरी मच हरे कृष्णा हैव ए हैप्पी कृष्णा कॉन्शियस मंगलवारम ट्यूसडे हरि बोल
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.